And I said,
I believe you did fall on the floor.
So what I'm looking for right now,
at a different time.
I was ready. And somebody said, hold on, that's all I remember.
I want to
No, man, the time here is not vibing either. The time.
Okay, blah, blah, blah.
That's what I would say.
I'm looking
And a lot of people you heard from the family member that we played earlier, she said that Rebecca.
I'm looking
His
for...
diaper's ready before.
And
Not so loud.
Staging the crime scene. This stuff is crazy.
Yeah, JLR, your voice is loud. That's good for you, actually.
I fell on the floor, and I said, as I got up, I couldn't find my.
And as I said, as I got up, I couldn't find my son.
I got him out of the car seat, and I laid him down so I could get his diaper.
So she's mixing up the timing here, right?
There's one specific
First she said she
I'm
cannot find
for.
him, and then she tells the story about.
And somebody said, hold on, that's all I remember. And I saw white.
Hinting at foul play. This is the chilling disappearance of Emmanuel Haro. And I'm Joseph Morris.
Okay, Joseph.
It happened because he was never there.
Look at this statement here. Look at the statement that she has made. She said, just give him back to me again. What did she say before? Let's see.
And now she is fabricating a story of him having been taken there in the parking lot, which never happened because he was never there. That's why she said again, because it happened before, that he was taken away. He was being disposed of. When she talked about laid him for him, this is a possibility. This is a possibility we are allowed to look at in the realm of possibilities according to their statements, both of their statements.
Okay.
And this, my friends, this is why I go to Joseph Morris quite a bit. Because he keeps it short, to the point, and there isn't too much blah, blah, blah. Let's see.
Please, I'm begging you, please, God, please. No, sir, please.
Invoking deity, also it's not a good sign. Praying to God, yes. Getting in front of the camera and talking to God while you do.
I hope this is gonna be it.
Who are you talking to, the kidnappers or God right now? And I'm being serious. Invoking deity needs to also be noted. He was very playful. Yes. Past tense. You remember.
And these are, of course, simple mistakes. These people are not statement analysts. They are workman's comp scammers.
Remember him how he was. This is also the eulogy.
And again, we have now the Jaden Spicer situation. The police, they got in there. They did their thing. They didn't need my analysis with Jaden Spicer's mom's message. They didn't need that. That it was already obvious to them. So, some cases are a little simpler to solve. And, okay, let me see.
Kind of approach.
He loved his sister.
And now she looks at him for approval. Am I doing good?
His sister always kissed him.
He was a healthy baby. He was crawling. He was kicking.
He says he was a healthy baby.
Well, past tense.
From what I'm hearing now from your sister, dude, he was, he didn't develop, right? He was.
So whenever they talked too much about whatever it may be, right? In the Sebastian Writer's case, the first thing they wanted us to know, he was autistic. Why? First of all, I believe that his behavior was mostly trauma-based and not autism-based. Secondly, that was their excuse why he would do something that makes no sense to anybody, which is walk outside barefoot in the middle of the night. Well, he's autistic. That's what, who knows? Do you know autism? Do you have an autistic child? Do you know what it's like to have you know what I mean? It's very preemptive. Also, with Jack and Lily Sullivan, they could be autistic. Well, it wouldn't have anything to do with them not catching up with other kids because of how their home life is, right? Right. So when they have a way of, blaming almost the child for his or her condition, then be on alert what exactly they are trying to tell us the child has. And when he has a lazy eye, and he looked like one of you thought maybe he's already dead in the picture, Emmanuel. But I also consider the possibility that this may not have been a very abrupt death. It could have been a slow one. I believe the picture indicates he was already severely abused, beaten. I have still not seen the early pictures of his. I will look them up in a minute. But some of you said there's a huge difference. And I believe the difference is that he has experienced major abuse and he was lying there with a blanket over him that was, babies normally kick their blankets off, right? Babies are very active, but he lied there like he was paralyzed, like complete, like physical and emotional trauma as well. Babies absorb what goes on around them. She makes it sound like there was something wrong with him. He was crawling, he was kicking. This actually indicates to me, look, he was a healthy baby. First of all, of course, past tense was. Healthy baby? No, he wasn't. No, he was not. Everything he is saying in there is the opposite of what he has last experienced his son to be like. He wasn't healthy. Maybe he was healthy at one point when he was born and before you started beating him. He used to be. There's a reason he feels the need to tell us that. Healthy or not, we want him back. That's the only priority. Not convince us that the baby was healthy. He was crawling. No, he wasn't. He may have not been able to crawl at one point. You may have beaten him so badly that he just lied there and he was kicking. No. Look how he lies there. And one of you, Krista, I believe, you asked the question if he could be dead. I said the same thing about the Summer Wells case when we saw the picture of her in the back. Out of all things, she was leaning against the cold milk carton with her head. I believe that she passed away in that car. But the moment that the picture was shot, she may have still been alive. And I'm saying that is because the mouth was closed. But the way he is holding his hand, similar to how Summer Wells was, and I believe she was on her way. She was close to passing away in this particular picture. And this may have been a slow death for him, a result of abuse over time. Look, he is just lying there, motionless. A child would be crawling and kicking exactly was what he didn't do. A child would kick off the blanket. So the father is telling us exactly where the sensitive areas are right now. And for now, I want to mark it as a sensitivity. And sensitivities need to be revisited again and again. We need to keep them up there in order to allow later statements to match up and clarify why these areas are sensitive. Instead of was, say he wasn't. He wasn't a healthy baby. He wasn't crawling. He wasn't kicking.
Why do you feel the need to tell us he was healthy?
He was playing with his toys.
I got him out of the car seat.
I got him up the car. You see, she's pushing for it the same way Daniel Martel did. Not trying to hold back. And look at his face. Look at his eyes. Look how watery his eyes are. And maybe there's a swollen lip, I don't know, but this boy was abused over time. Over time. So it may have been one blow that killed him, but it could have also been an over time thing.
Okay, at one point you did.
And I laid him down and so I could get his diapers ready. And somebody said,
You laid him down
Ola.
so you could get his diapers ready. Did you? What did you actually do?
oh, and that's all I remember.
I thought it was a man.
All I remember.
And I saw,
You would think about what else you can remember rather than dismiss it as this is all. We looked everywhere. Don't worry, case is closed. That's all I can remember. Don't ask me anything else. This is it.
I saw.
That's all I remember. Okay. Don't ask me any further questions. Please. I can only fabricate that much.
a white and a hearing sound. I fell on the floor, and I said as I got up, I couldn't find my
You're the victim, right?
son. I checked all the.
As I got up, not after I got up, as I got
up, I already knew what I was going to do. That is the crucial part here. I'm getting up and I'm getting ready for my act and my new reality, living in the script.
up. I'll get back into these details later. I checked all the around.
This is later.
What?
Around my truck.
Whoever took
Okay, you checked around the truck. What else did you check?
our son.
Look at this dude.
He's looking down. Little girl doesn't know what the hell is going on.
Yeah, this girl is lucky, by the way.
I started Tai Chi.
And maybe one day she will remember her baby brother as a hero. Why? Because his death may be the reason that she will be able to be alive.
Please give him back.
So let's just unpack that. Rebecca,
Around the targets, his targets, you know?
severe brain damage. The child was not the same. Let's just be real here. Jake should be the number one suspect. This allegation paired with his conviction.
By the way, before the video before that, I may revisit that also. Because that was when I just heard about the case and I didn't know about these things yet. That was the end of the video before that. But let me go through the rest.
Fueled online speculation. Reports also note Jake is in the.
Okay. I see no tears. No tears. And look for it at all times. If they're trying to act like they're having to hide their tears or wipe away their tears, but there are no tears, they want you to believe that they are sad when they are, that they are sadder than they actually are.
And these types of people don't stop, man. Same like Daniel Martel. All the abuse that Jack suffered from him, if they don't take actions and remove these children, so they do that when you are an SA offender. But they also need to do that when you are a sadistic abuser of children, period, right? Because this guy seems to enjoy There are people, and again, let me tell it again, a motive doesn't require for us to be able to relate to it, for it to be a motive. Some people enjoy hurting children, and that can be a motive, that they enjoy to hurt children. Why? Well, the psychology aspect is not what I'm interested in right now, and it's getting a little bit too deep, but there are people who enjoy to hurt children. It brings them pleasure. So never ask why would they do that. No, this is too far fetched, and this is no. This is too out there. I can never get stuck on what you are able to relate to somehow. So when you have a bank robbery, the motive, yeah, the guy has no freaking money, or he has a habit of rugs or whatever, and so on, and then your brain can go there and say, okay, so he couldn't pay his mortgage, he was about to lose his house, and he already stole from everybody, and he had a habit, and he needed to come up with enough money for his fixes, No, you may not be able to relate to this type of lifestyle, but your brain can go there and you say, okay, this guy was desperate for money, right? And of course, sometimes you can also think about situations in your life where you remember how it felt to be very short on money, and your life only evolves around that. So even though we do our best to remove ourselves completely emotional, of course there are certain triggers that we get to immediately, meaning we say, okay, I can get this part, and that's okay, but we need to be open to everything, including the motives that make absolutely zero sense to us. And mind you, Mrs. Banfield, it wasn't in the 80s, it was in the 90s that the Susan Smith case came about. And I remember back then, people did not want to let their minds go there. And there were people who suspected her immediately, but didn't want to say it. Because the thought of a mother hurting her own children in such a manner, that was something that people didn't want to think about. And people would even say things like, well, I think you have too much of an imagination, or you think too much, this cannot happen, a mother can. Well, some can. And that's the reality that we live in and with.
And you are more likely to hold back or try to hold back your tears when the situation is actually as they're trying to portray it.
U.S. illegally from Mexico, which could complicate his cooperation with authorities.
Wait, he's illegally here, but he worked at Walmart and at Amazon, and how did he manage to do that? Not only that, but even able to get workman's comp. Because I can see if you're working in a small business under the table, okay, but these are like major corporations, right? That have certain procedures when it comes to hiring.
Online sleuths on X fueled online speculation. Reports also note Jake is in the U.S. illegally from Mexico, which could complicate his cooperation with authorities. Online sleuths on X point out that Rebecca never entered Big Five, suggesting she avoided the store's surveillance cameras, which could have shown whether Emmanuel was even with her that night.
That's it. At that moment, she needed to change a diaper, right? Wait, where did she lay him down? Outside somewhere? Or in the car? Okay. At that moment.
And here's where...
But she didn't tell us that she changed. She didn't tell us what she was actually
almost
doing.
Done with this part.
She said what she was going to do, what she wanted to do, And she laid him down so that she could do it, but she didn't say what action she took. She didn't say, I went through my bag.
Give me a second, guys,
I
okay?
laid him down. I grabbed my bag.
I want to make sure I don't miss a thing. I love the second times around, by the way.
I mean, you would remember these types of things. But because she didn't do it, there is no experiential memory backing up what she wants us to believe.
It gets even stranger. Critics online say Emmanuel's photos don't look like a typical 7-month-old.
Yeah. Yeah, I believe there was ongoing abuse.
At all, people.
So this is a video called Janie McKenzie's More Detailed Analysis, and while I was making it, one of you left a comment about Emmanuel Haro, and immediately I looked it up while I was making my video, and I switched topics, and I do that. I go wherever something leads me and later put the puzzle together, but I don't want to miss a thing. When it's hot, it's hot. I want to see the specific part.
The lazy eye, did that bother you? I was right here, okay?
And then someone said, hola. And I couldn't even turn, and I was just...
Okay, here we go. Wait.
Please bring us back our son.
Here, and this, my friends, is the exact statement that she made, where I knew that Jake was the one who hurt him. And I did that before I knew about the abuse of his other children, what he was on probation for. I had absolutely no idea. But the change in pronouns is what we're going to look for. And I'm adjusting my seat here. You gotta be comfortable for this one. Let me see if I can actually hear it. 1:15. 1:34. 15:34.
I was walking.
Yeah, this is a beautiful comment that I saw.
Wow. Should I
JDR,
look a
thank
little
you.
bit more into this? I think so.
Now,
So here's something. Please bring us back our son. Please don't harm my son. When it comes to returning him, it's...
so do I need to find this now? At 13, is it here?
diapers ready.
Let's hear it.
And somebody...
He said, hola, and that's all I remember. And I saw white. I didn't hear. He said I fell on the floor, and I said as I got up, I couldn't find my son. I checked all around my truck.
Whoever took our son.
As I got up, I already couldn't find my son. As I got up. That was already her new script.
You checked all around your truck.
Please give. Come back.
Investigators returning to the scene this morning. They had search dogs out here last night trying to pick up a scent. But so far, nothing.
But they didn't take any of her belongings.
They just took a truck.
They only took a baby who needed a diaper change, right? And it was a guy, right? I think I'm talking for quite a few of us when I say that. Okay, let's not go there.
I got it.
They just took our son.
Please?
So I just saw one of those channels, and they said she was attacked while changing. The last thing you did.
Okay,
I would say I grabbed my bag. I was walking.
wait, guys, it's coming.
Wow. Should I look a little bit more into this? I think so.
You see, that's when I realized there's so much more, and this is the process I'm going through every time.
So here's something. Please bring us back our son. Please don't harm my son.
So the key to this one is the pronoun change. Please bring us back our son safe. Our son. There is unity between her and her husband. Both have lost their son. From her perspective, right? Now he is our son. But when she says, please don't harm my son, she says, my son. In this particular sentence, it is impossible for her to include him in this scenario when she says, please don't harm our son. And that tells me that the person who harmed Emmanuel was her husband, not her. She may have harmed him, but nothing in other ways, I don't know. But what she considers harm at this particular moment, that goes only to him. That is only his responsibility. He harmed her son. At that particular moment, it was not her intention to unalive him or put him into harm's way, if you will. Of course, she allowed for it to happen. She didn't protect her son. But this is when I knew. And this was in the very beginning. I had no idea about his record. I didn't need the record. So this is the process. And this is why I'm always going back to my old statements, because I want to re-examine them to make sure I get better at this. And yes, if it sounds like I'm bragging, no, I'm not. I know that, I'm taking responsibility for everything that I'm doing. Everything. What I'm telling you is if you apply statement analysis properly, you will get to the truth. So long before I found out about how obvious it is that he would be the one, right? I already knew that. The change of pronouns. Remember when Peter Heyer talked about the assaults, SA, and when the pronouns change, and how you can tell when somebody is reporting something to accuse somebody falsely, what indicators we can have. I'll get more into this. Let me see what else I missed.
When it comes to returning him, it's our son. But when she's saying don't harm, it is my son. She doesn't include her husband in that. Could that indicate that he is the one who harmed the boy?
Yeah.
Okay, let me end this, but one more time.
And I noticed a smell for my baby, so I wanted to change it before I walked into the store. I took him out of the car seat.
That happened at one point.
And I laid him on the chair. And I had his...
So when that happened, was he already dead?
1729, 1743.
I took him out of the car seat and I laid him.
I'll get through this. But here's the thing. You can have an endless amount of statements and don't learn a lot. But all of a sudden, there's this one sentence and you are able to tell where to look, in which direction.
On the chair.
First right here. And then someone said, hola. And I couldn't even turn, and I was just...
Someone said hola. What would you say? I heard somebody say hola, or someone said hola?
I remember nothing.
So I spent a lot of time on this, right?
I didn't see my child. Someone took him from me.
He's a little lazy eye. What's the only thing that's distinctive about him that he has no birthmarks. Beautiful, healthy baby boy. 7-month-old baby boy.
Okay, guys, so Just one more time.
Plea for their son's safe return.
It's just a baby. Just give our son back, please.
Where is 7-month-old Emmanuel? His parents, Jake and Rebecca Haro,
What is this? Is it on? No.
say someone kidnapped their baby outside this Big Five in Ukaipa after assaulting Rebecca Haro and knocking her out cold.
I was gonna get the diaper and somebody said, "Hola."
I was gonna get the diaper. She didn't tell us what she was doing.
And I didn't see nothing since. I woke up right here on the floor.
Look how he stares at her. Like, look at how he looks. This is a controlling dude, man. Even though he is the one, he's like, you better get this right, you better get this right, you better get this right. And shamefully, she goes along with it.
And I didn't see Emmanuel.
Haro says she was parked in front of the store about to change her son's diaper when someone came up behind and
I don't understand why women like
assaulted her. She claims she was struck in the face but wasn't able to get a look at who did it.
And look at his eyes, man.
Before they took off with her son. But investigators say there are
Let me see what she said, the reporter. About to change, okay?
But investigators say there are inconsistencies with Haro's initial statement, and because of that, they cannot rule out foul play.
They're not gonna hurt that baby. That couple
Shut up.
were just homebodies.
The baby's grandmother is adamant
Do you see tears?
the couple is innocent. She says Emmanuel is her daughter's pride and joy and that she waited years to have a baby boy of her own. The grandmother also says investigators asked her daughter to take a lie detector test, but her husband said no until they had a lawyer.
Yeah.
Right.
He knew, man. He knew she's gonna break.
Just going crazy, she can't handle it anymore.
She says her daughter is receiving death threats and her 2-year-old has been removed from the home. As the search for baby Emmanuel goes on,
Her 2-year-old has been removed from the home?
Mm-hmm.
Just going crazy, she can't handle it anymore.
She says her daughter is receiving death threats and her 2-year-old...
Okay, what else? So, things are moving pretty fast right now, people. Pretty fast. And I want to also give you a preview of what my next video will be about. And this is back to Jack and Lily. Because Daniel said before, no, I ran through the house searching every room, then ran outside the back sliding door. I did everything so fast. She said, they're gone, when we were both outside. He ran outside the back sliding door. Remember that? I will get back to it. Remember his last statements about going outside of the front door? Remember that? One moment. One moment, guys. But this is when I recognize the need to make actually a new video. But what I don't want to do is make too many shorter videos and have you guys alerted all day, premiere. I actually prefer to have a long video and then you guys can tune in and then you guys can fast forward or move to different timestamps and re-examine and skip the things you're not so interested in, rather than having a lot. Okay, what do you think is better? What do you like more? Should I make many shorter videos or a few long ones? If you want many shorter ones, press 1 now. If you want a few but longer ones, press 2. There is no wrong answer. It's about preference, and I'm interested in what you, my viewers, prefer, because I don't care what the viewers of other channels prefer, because they are not on your level, if I may say so. And of course, if I make a lot of different videos, I will post them throughout the day, throughout the night. Okay, thank you, Julia, for the information. One moment. Okay, wait. Let me see. Can you see this? I think you can see it, even like this, right? In her fifth statement to police provided May 9, Malaya said Daniel opened the front door to go looking for the kids. He put a wrench on top of the door the night before and it didn't fall down. So Daniel said they must have gone out the back sliding door, but Malaya said Daniel opened the front door to go looking for the kids. But Daniel has stated, no, I ran through the house searching every room, then ran outside the backsliding door. I did everything so fast, she said. So there's a huge inconsistency right here. And of course, this is what I'm going to get to in my next video, because there is a lot more actually when it comes to the case of Jack and Lily. So I've been watching Joseph Morris's channel quite a bit because he does not chit chat and overload with opinion pieces, right? So when he moves pretty fast. JLR I watch once in a while because he seems to be jumping around as needed very quickly from, and I like that. That's kind of my style. I jump around very fast to whatever is important in my opinion right now, because most of what we see, most of what we read, most of what we hear is a complete waste of our time, be it on YouTube or be it in mainstream media equally. So I love to just move ahead and okay, this I guess is her now. She's been arrested. So I figure it's pretty good for me to also add on top of my analyses and my presentation a little bit of video work from somebody else whom I'm also always credit. I always credit the people. Unlike some people, I don't use other people's material without and pretend it's my own. So Joseph Morris.
San Bernardino Sheriff's deputies dropped a stunning update in the Emmanuel Haro case. Arrest footage shows the parents of the missing 7-month-old cuffed for murder.
There she is, dude. There she is.
Yet his body still hasn't been found.
There she is. Another woman who cannot and will not protect her own children and puts her relationship before the well-being of her children. Malaya the same way. Throughout all the abuses, she didn't protect Jack and Lily. And this woman, I believe the abuse was ongoing of her son, and she didn't do a damn thing. So once again, would a mother do this? Well, some do. Some do, people. And that's what we are going to focus on, unfortunately, in our investigations, on the people who do what normal people wouldn't do. And that's what it is. That's what it is. Wishful thinking doesn't apply here.
I'm Joseph Morris, and don't forget to like and subscribe. We're unraveling the grim timeline, bizarre details, and lingering questions.
And I haven't seen this before, by the way. And dare I say that Daniel Martel actually did a better job than them, because at least he was pretending to search and run around, and not like Jake, who just stands there, makes a few statements, and then tells people, "You're trespassing on my property." And, Daniel knows his strong sides. And his strong side is to BS people who are not that bright, which unfortunately is a category many fall under. But that's not who I'm talking to here.
questions in this tragic Yucaipa, California case. Let's get straight
There he
into
is.
it.
There they are. There she is. Yep. Yep. Ah, you don't need to have a close-up. This is good enough, right? Okay, good. There he is. No, I want a close-up of his face. There he is. That's him, dudes. That's you. Yep, that will be the rest of your life, brother. This will be the rest of your life in shackles, restraint, and all of this. This is exactly what you deserve. And now I can be a little bit emotional about this because, you know what? The case is closing.
And the big break came on August 22nd
Okay.
at 7 a.m. NBC Los Angeles footage shows deputies and SWAT storming the Haro home on Ramona Street in Cabazon. Jake and Rebecca are arrested for murder under California Penal Code 187. Murder with malice afterthought, meaning they planned to kill Emmanuel. Rebecca is specifically charged with this intent.
So, it was ongoing abuse, but that caused him to look like this, but apparently they did have premeditation. Let me see again.
Meaning they planned to kill Emmanuel.
So maybe he was so damaged from the abuse that they realized that could have also been a cover-up thing. Now I'm going to throw out some possibilities here. It could be that, they figured that he was so damaged, possibly from the abuse, that they were worried about him, and his parole violation. He's on parole. Maybe they would realize the kid was abused and the child was evidence that he continued to abuse children. And maybe they said, well, this kid is so damaged, I don't want to take care of him.
Rebecca is specifically charged with this intent.
Malice.
Both are booked into Riverside County Jail with no bail. Sheriff Shannon Dykes calls it tragic, saying Emmanuel is presumed dead, though his body's still not found, and the search continues.
Yeah.
So what about Jake's sister, Maria Haro?
Exactly. What does she know?
She posted a video on August 16th defending Jake and Rebecca, but her past tense talk about Emmanuel raised eyebrows.
That's not the only thing, Joseph. And I have posted about that in one of my videos as well. There's a lot more, actually.
There's a lot of discussion on whether my nephew is special needs. He is late in development, but as far as we know, the doctors say that he's in great health. He's
What doctor said that? Did you take him to a doctor?
fine. He just has a lazy eye, and
He just has a lazy eye, right?
that made him more beautiful than
Don't patronize.
anybody I knew, because I loved him.
Loved him. Past tense, yep. Now he's beautiful to you, now that he's gone. And you know he's gone. In my opinion.
So much, it didn't matter what he looked like.
Do you guys think Maria was covering for them? Right now, no evidence ties her or anyone to a cover-up, despite social media chatter. So meet 33.
So I am not...
He loved his sister.
I've talked about these things already, about past tense, right? You guys want to hear this more?
Chatter. So meet 33-year-old Jake Haro, Emmanuel's father, with a dark past. In 2018, he and his ex-wife...
And I knew about none of that when I saw that one sentence and knew. But guys, I think this is enough for now. And we have to now move on to the next subject. And that subject includes There he is, Jake Haro, being arrested. Yep. Thank you for watching. I'm Mike the Man, and I'll see you soon.